You're live here, Michael. We heard you sniffle. Bless you. Hey, everybody. It's Angel. Happy hump day. Whoop, whoop. And Mayhem. Right, Mayhem?
Hello.
Yeah,
I'm
hello. We're here from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Like I said, happy hump day. Whoop, whoop. Happy Wednesday to you all. Yes, a video did drop. It was a little late. I had some technical difficulties, and I just wanted it to be better than what the original was. It was actually uploaded and ready to go, and I realized there was a problem, so I started over. It happens. It happens. But it is out there. And I noticed Sherry, which I think you're in here. I think I did see that you said hello. I'm going to bring, well, hold on before I do that. I noticed that she made a comment that said she's going to try it when she makes another purse, because this single fold, which is the video for today, the single fold does have less bulk. Okay. So great idea. Great idea. I do have some things to add. I'm going to bring up this. Oh, I don't know what it's doing. Listen, guys, one of my technical difficulties, y'all know when everything updates, you know, your life can get a little crazy. Everything I use updated. So I had a little bit of a problem. And, yeah. So that's where it was. That's where it's at. And this, hello, Mom. Glad to see you, Miss Sharon Campbell-Coy. I love your little emojis. They're cute. And listen, that's popping up okay. We'll see when somebody really types. Hello, Sharina. Glad to see you. I'm going to leave it up for a little bit, but we will get rid of it for a little while too, because I want to share something with you guys. But I'm glad to see that's working. If it didn't work too well, oh, there you go. See how it cuts it off? I'm going to try one thing, guys.
Yep.
If you'll just self-indulge with me. We're going to go a little bit smaller. Oh, it won't go any smaller than that. Okay, we'll see how that works. Okay, I'm just if it doesn't look right, I'm going to take it away and I'll start over. But my mom over on Facebook does say technology taking over the world. It is, and it's a good thing, unless you're, you know, not as. What do you say, Michael? I always say it wrong. I say suave. That's not right. But unless you are technically I am technically inclined, but just to a certain degree, and when all the updates happen at once, it just makes me go like my hair is like, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so that's where I was for the last 2 days. But it is what it is, and we're moving on. And this video did drop. I promised y'all a single fold, and I am personally getting better at it.
You good over there?
I just realized I left it over there. So when I switch cameras, I might have to go get it. Hello, Miss Alice. You are on a 3-hour road trip and just crossed the Mackinac Bridge to the Upper Peninsula. I can view this and the beautiful scenery. I don't know where that is. And I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but Mackinac. I'm glad that you're having a most fantabulous hump day. Oh, look how big that is still. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. I got to figure that out, guys. Okay. Love me some updates. So Miss Alice is there over on Facebook also. Well, you have to tell me, where is the Mackinac Bridge to the which upper peninsula? We have so many peninsulas here in the United States. Okay. So today was about the single fold binding. One question I'm going to ask you guys is if any of you have, or any of you do, I know my mom does on occasion, and she says it's okay in her opinion. It's a little different, and I was thinking about that, but I'm wondering, Northern Michigan is what Miss Alice says. You are saying it right, Mackinac, and it's Northern Michigan. Well, I got to tell you, that Michigan area, when you go to the coastline, it looks like a real ocean. I mean, it's so big. It's amazing. If you haven't been, I'm sure it's somewhere you got to go. Put it on your bucket list. But what I'm wondering is if any of you have used single fold binding or currently use single fold binding. Now, I already did say Sherry's going to want to try it. And I do encourage you, if you haven't tried it, try it with a smaller project and see if it is something you like. I just realized I didn't turn off all of the Michael, you're gonna yell at me later. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, so can you hear it?
Oh, hear what?
Oh, good. You don't hear it. Life is wonderful. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to add about it. First and foremost, I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage. I don't know where to put it. But if you use single fold binding, and let's say you had a white fabric that you were using on binding, and you had a black quilt top, okay, or a dark colored quilt top and backing. When you use just one single strip, instead of doing the French fold where you fold the whole thing in half, it may not be thick enough and it may show through on your binding the topper fabric or the backing fabric. So I didn't say that during the video, and I wanted to add that one too. It may not, so you'd have to test, put your little piece of fabric over top of it and see what's going on with it, but before you do it. But if you haven't tried it, I would definitely encourage you to try it. It does take a learning curve because it is, I don't know why, because, okay, we'll just stop there because I'll come back to it. But there is a learning curve, okay? The colors, light versus dark, you got to pay attention to that because you're only using that one strip of fabric, okay? Opposed to one strip folded in half, making it like two. Now, another thing that I mentioned was, I pre-fold my 1/4 inch fold on it. If you haven't watched the video, you're gonna have to watch the video because then you'll understand what I'm talking about. But when you, I do that, and I said it makes everything more manageable, and it does. It helps a lot. I've done it where I didn't because you don't have to. But I felt it was a lot more manageable because that strip is skinnier. So pre-folding helped a lot before putting it on the quilt top, yes. However, one of the other reasons that I didn't mention was because when you got around those corners, I actually struggled a little bit more to get my miters prettier when I didn't pre-fold. So you may not have any trouble, but I just wanted to give you that more information to make you more aware of it. Another thing I thought about, I felt like I was fine with my corners, but some people like to clip their corners. I'll probably have to do a video on that because there's actually a really cool technique to do that with. But at any rate, if you want to clip those corners because the fabric is less, feel free to do so, guys. There are no quilt police. It's your quilt. It's your guidelines. It's what you feel you need to do. I didn't have a lot of trouble. Even when I had, if you watch the video, I had a seam right there at the corner, and I still didn't have any trouble. So I just wanted to put that out there. You really do. If you have trouble with your corners, you might want to cut it. And maybe you cut one and see the difference between not cutting and cutting the corner for you. Snipping off the little extra fabric. Don't snip the seam line, just the extra fabric, which there's not a lot when you have a 1/4 inch. But it just might be enough to make things a lot easier. Michael, if there's any messages that I don't see, could you let me know? Because the last time this happened, you told me there were stuff and I wasn't seeing it. And I just want to make sure that I am. Okay. Because I'm not getting anything new. Not saying that anybody's talking and I'm not seeing it. I'm just saying I noticed that the last time. Okay. I want to also tell you, I did use 1.25 inches. And I did say, if you leave the extra binding off of your quilt top, you know how people leave that 1/4 inch batting on their quilt tops to give their binding some extra oomph, I would use a 1.5. Now, I will tell you, I'm speaking from experience. I did try to use a 1.5 inch binding without having the extra batting, and it was so much fabric. It was really bad. So if you do not do that, please use 1.25 inches. And here's where I was going to go with the whole thing. I was thinking to myself, when you fold it in half and then you do your double fold or your French fold binding, when you fold it in half, if you start with 2.5, that'll give you 1.25 inches. And then you fold it again, and then you fold it over. So in essence, I don't know what the difference is, because and I usually use 2.25 when I do wider strips and I fold a French fold. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's in my head. I don't know if it's just the feel of having a smaller strip, but I just find it more finicky. And it was even funny when I'm doing the stitch in the ditch, I said, it's more flat. It is more flat, okay? It truly is more flat. But here's the thing. I stitch in the ditch on quilts and inside them, right? I don't have a problem. So I don't know if it's in my head that I'm just automatically like, yeah, this is different. And I'm making it harder. But I did find it to be a little more tricky, and you really have to take your time with it until you're used to it. Like I said, I don't know why, because the math is the same. Everything's the same. You just don't have quite as much fabric. So it's really interesting to me as I've been doing this now for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, and I'm getting better. A lot better, but it's just still really finicky, and I can't put my finger on it. I can't put my finger. When you start to do it, I'd love to have your input, because I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. But it's definitely a good idea if you want to save a little money on your project. And I did give you the idea about it being a disadvantage, because they're saying that by only doing one strip like that, you're making your binding less durable. But I know people who do it, including celebrities. That's what they do. They use a single fold, and they don't have a problem with it. They love the method. They haven't found any difference. So I don't have enough experience to give you one way or the other. And I'm saying it really didn't even matter if I did. It's your quilt. You do you. Okay? And I encourage you to try it. For sure. And I was going on with another thought, but it's completely gone. Okay. So that's all I got really for, unless anybody has any questions. And if you do, go ahead and drop them down below. And if you're watching the hashtag replay and you do have questions, you can drop them underneath the video. Or, man, my dogs are just all over it. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Or you can drop them here, and I will be more than happy to address those. Because that's what we're here for. Okay. 100%. Okay. So the next thing I talked about in the video is doing a little bit of math. You can't hear those dogs? Oh, they're driving me nuts.
A little bit here.
Okay. With the binding calculator. Now, I told y'all it's in the description box in the video. It's actually a link. I haven't done this since 2020. This is when I put it out. I was looking at it, and I'm going to go over it a little bit, but I think I'm going to update it because it's 2 years old, and I don't have any widths that talk about if you were doing a single fold. The math is the same to figure out how much fabric you need. It's absolutely the same. You just put in the width of your fabric being 1.25 or 1.5. Okay. So I think I'm going to update it. And when I do, I'm going to create a blog instead with a little button that you can click to get the calculator. But for now, after I get off this video, I will add the link for the binding calculator that you're going to see. Okay. And, but it is in the video for single fold binding in the description box because it is a link. So I'm going to go over it real quick. Are you there? What?
I don't know. You said so I said so.
Oh, okay. Miss Alice on Facebook says, I agree with your mom. To me, oh, see, I didn't see my mom make a comment. I agree with your mom. To me, the single fold binding feels a little thin. I have cut my backing 1.5 inches bigger. You have cut your backing 1.5 inches bigger than your quilt and folded over the backing on the... Oh, yes. That's a whole nother method. That is a whole nother method. Which eventually I'll go there with you guys. But it does feel a little... It does. And it's the weirdest thing because when you fold it over again to whichever side you're stitching, you have the same amount of fabric. No, I guess you don't. Because you would have 4 layers. Yeah, it does feel thin. It really does. And there's just something about it when you're trying to manipulate it. But I see a lot of good reasons to use it. So I want to make sure this is the whole purpose. When I talk to you about advantages and disadvantages, when I talk to you about how to do it and my thoughts, all of that is just so I can give you more information if you've never tried it or thought about it, because it's important that you make your own decision, because there's no wrong or right with this. Okay? It really, guys, somebody can have a lot of thoughts. Like there are people that think it's less durable, and I know how they're getting there, and I can see that. I can. But I also know a lot of people that use it for everything. So the whole point is to come across to you so that you get more information to make an educated decision for yourself. Okay? Because it's your quilt. Oh, it's Lori Holt's birthday month. We'll just say Lori Holt's thing. You're the boss of your own quilt. True state 100. Oh, bless you. 100%. It's you. But sometimes we just need somebody to be upfront and honest and give you just facts. I will tell you if I give an opinion, but I tell you it's just my opinion because all the other stuff is for you to disseminate and for you to figure out. Miss Alice then just said, I did not know to leave a 1/4 inch more batting for nicer binding. Yeah. There's... Oh. So you did... Oh, that's a whole nother subject. So, you've cut your backing 1.5 inches bigger than your quilt and folded over the backing. See, to me, if you folded a 1/4 in, that'd be 1 1/4. That is a lot of fabric right there. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll have to talk, Miss Ellis. I'm trying to get a picture of that because with my head and my math, I see where you're going. I just want to make sure I understand it correctly. So now you cut. How do you cut your backing if you're going to use your backing to fold over? Do you cut it more than 1 1/2? Do you cut it at 1 3/4? That's a lot. Just out of curiosity. I'm just trying to get a visual picture. But yes, a lot. And here's the other question. When you do that, do you leave a 1/4 inch extra on your quilt top with batting? Or do you cut your or do you cut your batting even with your quilt top? Because that makes a difference. That makes a huge difference. That makes a 1/4 inch difference. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do, though, saying all that, I wanted to go over this binding calculator real quick, and then I got some new fabric coming at you, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But the binding calculator, how do I do this, guys? Oh, it's not in the picture. Okay, let me know. I think you can see this, and I'm going to read it. And I'm going to write on it. Okay. So let me know that you can see it and write on it. I mean, see it and understand it. Okay. This is what is currently out there. Now, I'm going to update it. Now, what I want to tell you is I lost a lot of files when, number one, when the lightning struck our house. And then number two, I had a external hard drive go kaput. So I lost a lot of files in the last year. Okay. So this is one of the ones, I don't know if I have it, but I went and downloaded it from the link that I shared with you guys. And when you do this, for whatever reason, I had to pick landscape. It should have already been landscape, but I had to do that with the Adobe Reader is what I used to download it and then to print it. I had to change it from portrait to landscape because this is actually a landscaped document. Okay. And it still didn't print exactly how it used to see, because I've got all this extra room up here. It is what it is. I'm going to redo it, good guys, because if you'll notice, I give you standard binding widths of strips. So we have 2 inch all the way to 3. And yes, I know people who do a 3 inch binding. I do. Now, I should ask them if they sew deeper when they apply it, because we usually sew either a 2.5 or 2 1/4 with, fold it in half, and then we sew it on at a 1/4 inch. But there are people that like the 3 inch because it gives them something bigger of a binding, and it makes it frame it out just a little bigger, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just want to know if they're stitching in further than a 1/4 inch, because that's what I would do. Okay. So notice though, it doesn't have the 1.5 and the 1 1/4. So I'm going to update this and I'm going to make it look a little more pretty. So what's going on here? When you want to figure out fabric, how much fabric you need for your particular quilt, the very first thing and I gave you a little example here, the first thing you want to do is measure all your sides. And if you don't sew it perfectly square, sometimes you might have a 1/4 inch difference. You might have a 1/2 inch difference. Whatever it is, measure each side. Now in this example, we have the long sides. Well, it's actually a perfect square. But in this picture, we're supposed to have 2 long sides at 60 inches, and then the top and the bottom are 45. So the first thing you do, I measure all my sides, and I add all the sides together, and that gave us 210 inches. Okay? I always add, guys, no matter if it's a small project or a big project, I always add 10 inches. That gives you more fabric for your mitered corners and having a tail. Okay? So we had 210 for all 4 sides. I added 10 inches, and that gave us a total of 220. Okay? Michael, do I have any comments that I'm not seeing? And can you see this okay, Michael? So. Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. Okay. So now, the second step is we're going to calculate the number of strips that you're going to need based off of this total number. Okay? So you're going to take your grand total of inches. Grand total of inches was 220. Okay? And, I'm about to lose an earbud. Okay. And then I'm going to divide that width of fabric. Divide by the width of fabric. Now, no matter what, even if my width of fabric of usage, not with selvage. So you know how you can buy fabric and it says 43 to 44 inches? That's not usage. That's with the selvage included, which you're going to cut. I'm not going to measure it, guys. I'm not going to measure how much of my usage there is. I just always divide by 40. It's just my thing. So we're going to say that our width of fabric is 40 inches usage. Okay. And this is going to give you the number of strips. So when you take that 220 and you divide by 40, it gives you 6. Yep. Really? That's rounded. See here, I'm going to make sure isn't that rounded, Michael? 220 divided by 40. It actually comes to 5.5. Okay? But you always want to, and I put it in the notes, round up your answer. Okay? So 5.5 rounded up is 6. So we need 6 strips of fabric. All right? The next step tells you we're going to calculate the amount of fabric that you need. So we take the number of strips, which is A, which is 6. Okay? And you're going to multiply the width. So all of these are standard width bindings, but if you're going to do 1 1/4, if you're going to do 1 1/2, if you're going to do 2 1/4, 2 1/2, whatever you do, whatever your strip desire is, that's the number you're going to put in. So I usually use 2 1/4, so we're going to do 2 1/4. Maybe I'll do 1 1/4 on top of it. Okay. But 2 1/4 is my normal. That's my French fold or my double fold. All right. So the number of total inches of fabric. So we got to take 6 and you're going to multiply 2 1/4. That's going to give you 13 1/2 total inches. And you're going to round up again the answer. So originally it's 13 1/2, but because that's a half, we're going to go to 14. Okay? If we did 1 1/4, we would take 6 times 1 1/4. Whoop. I'm doing this at the same time with a calculator, guys. That's going to give you 7 1/2 inches. Look at the difference. 7 1/2 to 13 1/2. That's a lot. So for the 1 1/4, we're going to round it to 8 inches. Okay. The next step tells you number of inches needed divided by 36. 36 inches is how much of a yard of fabric. So we're going to take the number of inches needed. So we're going to go with the first one, then 2 1/4. That's 14. And we're going to divide that by 36. Hold on.
Good.
I didn't do that right.
Okay.
14 divided by 36. Okay. It's like 0.3888889. Okay. So what that equals is 0.39 of a yard. But we're going to round it to the nearest half. Because we can't get 0.39 of a yard of fabric. So it's closer. I'm going to need a half a yard. Is what that boils down to. Because that goes... we got to go up. We can't go down. So a half a yard of fabric, if we had 220 inches, a 60 by 45 inch quilt, you're going to need a half a yard of fabric for your binding if you do the French fold of 2 1/4. Okay. For the 1 1/4, you will take number of inches needed, which is 8, and we're going to divide that by a yard, and that actually comes to 0.22222222, okay? A quarter of an inch, a quarter of a yard is what we'll need. 0.24 of a yard. A quarter yard versus half a yard. That's the difference when you use a single fold versus a French fold, okay? We'll need a quarter yard to do a 60 by 45. We'll need a half a yard to do the same quilt when we do a French fold, which is very interesting because if you notice, it's exactly double. Very cool, right? All right, but this is the binding calculator that is currently available. Like I said, I'm going to update it, but I'll do a blog for it instead. But the math is all going to be the same, guys. This is not going to change, okay? The math doesn't change. And if all you got to do is plug the numbers in, and it tells you exactly what to do and how to divide. Miss Alice says, I have to watch your video. I'm losing signal. I do so love the country. Enjoy yourself, Miss Alice. Enjoy the country. Enjoy the solitude. Enjoy yourself. I'm sure it's going to spur that awesome creativity that you so have. I'm sure it's going to just fill your soul so you can create even more. Sharina says over on YouTube, I still need to work on my double fold binding. I am sure I would do it with the single fold binding also. I tend to have the stitching overshoot on the backing on the at least part of the quilt. The stitching overshoot. Sharina, at some time, I'd like to have a personal conversation with you. And it'll help me too, if you don't mind. It'll help me help others. But we can have a personal conversation so I can make sure I understand exactly what you're talking about. And maybe I can help you with that. It does take practice, but I think I can help you with what you're going through. Okay. Just so you know, when you do download this binding, I also gave you the example, which I just used a lot of the same math. I was just checking it to make sure it was right. And I gave you little notes in here and different things like that. So this is the second page to the download. Okay. This one you'll always write on. This one you can just keep as an example if you so desire. Okay. And I'm going to update it. And when I do, I'll still include an example so you can see how it all works. Okay. So I wanted to go over that. That is your math for figuring out your own binding. Because if a pattern writes that they want you to do a 2.5 inch strip and you don't like using 2.5, you want to use 2.25, or maybe you want to do a single fold, or maybe the pattern says to do a single fold, but you want to do a double fold. This allows you to figure out how much fabric you need personally for the project that you're making. Okay, so that you can manipulate it and you can do your own binding and make sure you have enough fabric to get it done. Okay. All right, so that is that. Let me come back at you and figure out what's next. Oh no, Michael.
What? You don't know it. I don't know things. What do you know?
Okay, last thing on my list, guys. I do have some new fabric coming in, and I want to talk about this for a minute because they're not quite on my on our website because they came in and they just came in. But we're not going to be here next week. So we have an off week next week. And they're going to be up before that. Like the fabric I'm going to show you first will be up by tonight. And I had 7 bolts of fabric come in. And that'll be up by Friday. So I wanted to show you what's coming live. Because by the time I come back, there's other things going on. Okay, because we got 2 weeks before I see you again. So I am going to talk about, see, I got to fix my camera. Just give me a hot second here. Okay, I have to fix it again, I think. Ooh, I don't like that. I'm struggling with this here. Give me a hot second. Whoop. Might help if I don't hit it. I think this will work. Make sure the light's good. Oop. That way y'all don't get dizzy when I'm trying to do this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this over. This first one, before I do that, what the heck is the first one? It is by Poppy Cotton, and it's called Treasured Threads. Super cute, guys. So super cute. And we have it in 5-inch, 10-inch, and fat quarter bundles. And let me tell you what, fabric prices are going up. I about pooped myself. Okay, so the first, it's got, believe it or not, what these are, they're swallowtail birds. Is that the right name, Michael? Swallowtail? Is that a real name of a bird?
Yeah. Well,
Okay. So these are swallowtail birds, and there's a lot of florals in here, but they also have some other various textures. So this is the first one. Okay. And then like more florals, and I don't know if you can see that, but there, some lines in here. I think they call this cross stitch lines, but cute florals. See, here's just those lines. I want to say they call this cross stitch, which just cracked me up. But we have it in red. This is a cute floral design. Very cute. And there are 44 different pieces of fabric in this line. This is also the cross stitch, but it's in like a yellow, I guess, beige kind of color. More floral print, but it's more of a texture show up, right? Cute pink. These are larger florals. So with 44 different fabrics, of course these are duplicated, right? But the fat quarter bundle comes with 22 fat quarters. Because it's 22 different piece prints, and then 44 pieces for the 5-inch and 10-inch because each one's duplicated. More swallows with florals in the green. Here's that cross stitch again with florals, but with the green. It's super cute, guys. Very spring-like. Just the cross stitch in the green. That print again with the green. Oh, look at that one. Is that not striking? That is actually a cross stitch in the background, just like the others, but it's just navy. I don't know how well you can see because my camera doesn't show the same. That teal or green color for that flower print, the larger florals and the navy. Then we have the swallows with a very light background and some florals. So super cute. I love this. Cross stitch with the florals in a lighter color. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty. That's that cross. I think they call it cross stitch. You watch, I'm saying it wrong. Then we got that floral print. More of a textured print, tone on tone. Ooh, look at that color. It's like almost like a dark mustard. It's very dark. More orange with the swallows and the florals. I really like it in this color, that print. Isn't that cute? And last but not least, the large florals. Okay, so this is Poppy Cotton Treasured Threads is what they call it. And again, we have it in 5-inch and 10-inch squares, which come with 44 pieces because there are 22 different prints in the line. And the fat quarter bundle comes with 22 fat quarters. Okay, so that's the first one. Woo! Now I switch cameras because I want to make sure my camera's set up for this. It'll make it go a lot faster. This line that I'm showing you, I've never bought from them, and I like it. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, there go my dogs again. I am so sorry, guys. Whoop. Yep. Okay. So the name of the line is called, the name of the manufacturer, they're called Freckle and Lolly. Freckle and Lolly, guys. This first one I'm going to show you is out of their Spring Holidays collections. And it's Luck Clover Green Swirls is what they call it. That's a mouthful. So I'm going to pull this over. Super cute. Looking good for Shamrock season or St. Patty's Day. Now, all of these bolts that you're seeing, they'll be up by Friday evening, Eastern time. Okay, so they're not going to be up right away, but it was important to me to show this to you, like I said before, because we won't be on next week. We won't have a video drop, so I won't be here, and I wanted you to see some of these fabrics that will be hitting by Friday. So shamrocks or luck clover, something like that. Green swirls, because you can see the little swirls in here. Super cute. I love this fabric. Okay. Now, the second one, it's all part of a collection that's called Belle and Blue. And I bought 3 of the fabrics that are a little more girly and 3 of them that are a little bit more boily or boy-y. I don't know. This is actually a pink. I hate doing this to you guys. Whoop. See if I think that's a little better. Oh yeah. See, doesn't that look more pink to you guys? Let's go up one more and see what happens. Ooh, that's really bright. Well, I'll leave it for a minute. Oh yeah, there we go. When I put my hand on it, it really shows. So this is, it's not close, so I probably need to mess with the RGB. But it's pink, and then these little dots, they might have purple, we have blue, we have white, we have yellow. You can see the yellow. Oh, I'm going to go down one more. Okay. This is a pink background. And in the photo, you should have more on the website. It will be a lot more closer to true color than what you're seeing here. So, but we have polka dots. And I want to say this line is, the actual thing is called Fun Dots in pink. Because the background's pink. So these are fun dots. Now, pink is a girly, maybe a girly. You might have, Michael, I think you liked pink at one point, didn't you?
What?
Yeah, I think you did.
I don't know. Maybe. I like
and
purple.
You played with dolls.
Did I? I don't remember.
Yes.
I played with dolls with Pam.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Yeah, that's different. Not because I wanted to, because it made her happy.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. But some boys like pink. And, you've worn pink.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be girly, but, I'm going a little... Yeah. When we develop a quilt, we tend to think pink is a girl, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I brought it closer, and I think it shows just a little better what the actual colors look like. It's closer. Okay. So that's, what did I say? Fun Dots Pink. Okay. This next one is Butterflies in Pink. Is that not super cute? Very large butterflies with little swirlies and little flowers, teal flowers. This is so cute, guys. This is so cute. It is unreal. Okay, so that is Butterflies Pink. Last one for the girls. Maybe. It's actually kind of a neutral color in my opinion, but it's a purple. And it's actually called Ladybug, which y'all know, I just love ladybugs. Ladybug Daisy Purple. So we have the purple background and all the daisies with some ladybugs. Whoop, I just hit the camera. I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to show you a more realistic. That's pretty close to the color. Isn't that darling? So those are the 3 that I think match. Okay. And then you're going to love this. So we had the Fun Dots in pink. Now we have Fun Dots white. Are they the same dots? Oh, there's no yellow in here. We just have greens and blues. Dark blue, like a tealy blue and a green on a white background. Super cute. You gotta love this. So that's the first one. That's Fun Dots white. I literally just pulled these out of the box, so I have to take the wrapping off. These are dinos, guys, on black. Oh, let me turn the light down just a bit. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Got some bones in here, you know, because when you talk about dinosaurs, you talk about archaeology, and we might just find their bones. But it's actually called something to do with dinos in black. How original. But isn't it cute? Look at these guys. So super cute. And I put my hand on here. Number 1, I like to pet fabric. Sorry. But number 2, I'm just feeling how thick. And it feels good. So, number 2, I want you to see the size of the different prints. Okay. So you can look at it depending, you know, on hand size. So, that's dinos in black. If any of y'all have any grandkids, this just might be the right fabric for them. The last one, or sons or daughters. The last one, ooh, that does not show up well. Let me turn down the light. That's better, right there. That's actually really, really good. This one, I want to say, is called You'll love this. Stars in Black. They don't glow. Some of people might think that it does. It's not a glow in the dark fabric at all. The colors do kind of look glowy in the darky kind of colors. You know, like you can look at things like shirts and stuff, and you know that it glows because of the color variation. It's very, very similar, like this green and that. I think that green. I think they look like they'd glow in the dark. But they don't, just so you know. This green might look like it does, but it doesn't. This is not a glow-in-the-dark fabric. It is just super gorgeous. And I want to say, well, they're kind of, let me pull it out just a little. Oh, look at that. So the reason I did that is because, you know, when they print fabric, there is some sort of a pattern to the print, and it will repeat itself. Now, I'd have to look going down. But I love that you can see that there is lighters in various places and darkers. Well, actually, if you look, so this is a dark area. Bless you, Michael. This is a dark area, and we have the dark stars. This right here is exactly the same. So there is a pattern to it. But I think the pattern is just so super cool.
I like that one.
I thought you would. Yeah, it's a really, really neat fabric. I think they all are. Actually, this is a very, like I said, Belle and Blue is the name of the line by Freckle and Lolly Collection. That is the name of the manufacturer. So I've never bought fabric from them. I think they're newer. And I went ahead and did it because I just felt like these collections were so good for, you know, somebody who either loves to be a kid at heart. I could see using these different fabrics for different types of quilts that you might do for a child. So I had to buy it. I just did. and I think you would enjoy it too. And I think I'm going to do something with it. Sharina's been waiting for me to do a kid's version, or it's not necessarily a baby blanket that I will do with this, but it's definitely a kid version. She's been waiting for me to put that out. So it's coming. But there you have it. Did I miss any comments, Michael? I don't think I did, but
I don't think so.
The last one I have is Sharina still needing to work on her double fold binding.
Oh.
Did I miss stuff?
Love the new fabric. Really like the dinos. Almost a squirrel.
Who said that, please?
Sharina said almost
Okay.
like a squirrel.
I knew
Sherry said
Sharina
love
would.
the new fabric.
Sherry did. She loves the new fabrics. Yeah, they are. It's unique. It's definitely unique. Almost a swirl. Really like the dinos. Yeah, almost a swirl. I'm guessing with the stars. You really like the dinos. Sharina got it. And you love the new fabric, Sherry. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So I had to switch.
Yeah. You didn't do that last.
I did. There's something going on with the chat with Streamlabs. I'll have to contact them. So, at any rate, I wanted to share that because, like I said, we're not going to be here next week. There's no video drop. And I will tell you guys, we will not be on happy hour this Saturday either. Okay, so it's a week off for all of us. Take a breather. I'm still working. Don't get me wrong. Okay. No video drop though. The next one will be in 2 weeks from today. 8 plus 14 is 22. Is that right? Is my math
Sure.
correct? It is.
I don't know. Sounds good. Okay.
So, the 22nd of February, we will do another video drop. It is a small project for St. Patrick's Day. Hope to see you there. If you have any questions about a single fold binding, let me know. I'll be sure to help you with that as much as I can. And Sharina, I look forward to talking with you. See if I can help you not overstretch and go from there. But yeah, so you have anything to add to all this hot mess, Michael? Oh, and the poppy cotton treasured threads. I had to think of the name. I don't know why I have such a problem with that name, but it's a beautiful name. That's a beautiful name. So those are your new fabrics. That's the video did drop for the single fold binding. If you haven't tried it, do what I did. Grab some leftovers of a block, put some batting between it, and attempt to do your single fold binding just so you can understand what it does and how it might help you. There are real reasons to use it. I don't know if I'm on board to use it on my quilt because it's a new method for me. So I'm still learning and getting used to it. So I'll be honest. I'll probably still do my French fold on my quilts, but a lot of projects I can now see using it for. And I just want to encourage you to try it if you haven't. We can all take a little extra 1 1/4 inch. I mean, I'll have so much scraps. We don't know what to do. Now you know what to do. Or you can play what if and experiment with a single fold. Let me know how it went for you and let me know if you have any questions. Grab yourself a binding calculator if that is something you want to be able to utilize so you don't have to depend necessarily on the pattern that's given to you. Of course, if they tell you to cut 2.5 inches and it's half a yard and you want to do 2 1/4, you're going to get enough fabric to do that, right? But at least you'll know if there's any way that you can save. And if you do choose a single fold, then you may need a lot less fabric to save yourself some money. Because the more money we save, the more money we have to buy new fabric, right? So, let me know if you have any questions. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you all for stopping by. Oh, Michael's
Stay
getting ready.
safe. Stay safe.
Michael
Get a deep
always
breath
wants you.
beforehand.
Yeah, you always want everybody to stay safe. Right?
Yeah.
So you can
Yep.
come back. You can
Important.
come back next time, and we can chit chat some more.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
All right, guys. Thank you for stopping in. I just want to make sure. Do I have any? Nope. I don't see any new comments. That doesn't mean they're not there. I always watch the replay, so just know, even when you do hashtag replay, 90% of the time I see the comments and I feel like I answer as much as I can. So don't hesitate, guys. Do not hesitate to let me know you are here. And if you have any questions or suggestions, or if you use a single fold and you love it, because there's so many of you out there that do, and I just can't wait to meet you. So, until 2 weeks from now, Michael says stay safe, and we at Halo say, until next time, may you all continue to be inspired, productive, ever so joyful. Never stop believing. Never. And never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. We love y'all. Happy quilting. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Whoop whoop. And we will see you all soon.